Hello, this is Unlimited Splash, where we get better at Magic together through a new draft video every weekday. And today I'm continuing my quest to become a super expert at Marvel Sealed. There are only 2 more weekdays before the Arena Direct opens on Tuesday. So we do not have much time to become really good at Marvel Sealed. And what do we have here? I'm noticing a lot of white and black cards. Okay, so it's a new set. A lot of people don't know the cards, but some of you are more familiar with the cards. So I'm going to be reading pretty much every card in the pool, maybe with a little bit less time per card than yesterday, but I'll still be going through all of them. If you're someone who feels pretty comfortable that you know what all the cards are or a bunch of the cards already, there are chapters at the bottom of this video. You can just go ahead and skip to the deck building portion. So stick with me at the beginning if you want to hear every card. Otherwise, jump ahead to deck building. Okay, so Deadly Dispute, an oldie. I was going to say an oldie but a goodie, typically an oldie and a pretty baddie. So this is 1 and a black for an instant. As an additional cost to cast it, sack an artifact or a creature, and the artifact could be a treasure token. There is a lot of incidental treasure making here and little token, like creature tokens. Then you draw 2 cards and make a treasure. So just barely net positive on cards. You're spending 2 mana, spending this card, and sacrificing an object. So that's going down 2 in order to draw 2 cards into your hand and make a treasure. Usually not a bargain. That has been worth it when this card appears in Sealed or in Draft recently. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. The only thing that I know about Marvel is that Ryan North of Dinosaur Comics wrote the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl books, so I'm inclined to like it. However, this is a 4/4 for 1 and 3 green. When it enters or attacks, you make a 1/1. So already it's a 4/4 and a 1/1 for 4, although you do need to be able to cast the green mana or all those green pips. Then when it attacks, it also makes a 1/1. And then for 1 and 3 green, you can make X 1/1 squirrels, where X is the number of squirrels you control. So you just double your squirrel count. Pretty ridiculously strong card, I would say, especially for Sealed. I mean, I remember when Ant Queen was good in Sealed, and that was a pathetic fraction of the card that Unbeatable Squirrel Girl is. Okay, Captain America Wings of Freedom. I had 2 copies of this in my pre-release Sealed deck, actually. It was pretty good. It's not like a bomb that, you know, is going to unilaterally, well, it can unilaterally win the game, but I think if you have ways of boosting his toughness, he becomes a lot better. The ward does make him better, and flying is really good in the format, so I think it's a very strong card, but it's not like the greatest, you know, card in the format. Okay, so 3/1 for 3, flying for a strike, ward 1. When he attacks, every other hero you control gets +X/+X, where X is his toughness. Winter Soldier, Icy Assassin, 2/2 for Orzhov. Vigilance Menace, he gets +2/+0 for each equipment. Pretty rough get in Sealed, actually, because you typically are not going to open a whole bunch of busted equipments. For 3, a white and a black, bring it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on him, and then you may attach the equipment. So I'm going to say, though, this card is just really good on rate. A 2/2 for 2 Vigilance Menace that comes back from the graveyard is just a strong card, even if you forget about the equipment thing. Black Widow I had in yesterday's video. A 2/1 for 2 Menace. When it deals combat damage to a player, they exile cards until they hit a non-lane card. You can put a +1/+1 counter on Black Widow. If you don't, you may cast the exiled spell using mana of any type. So a thing about this card that got me the one time I got to activate it last time is there's a very tricky interface thing with this card that you should be aware of. When you exile the card, you're going to be presented with a yes or no. I think for most people psychologically, at least for me the first time I did it, when I saw the yes or no, it's like accept or decline. The thing I'm thinking I want to do with this card, the big exciting splashy thing to do, is cast your opponent's spell. So I clicked accept, but the way it's worded, the choice is you may put a counter on her. If you don't, you may cast the spell. So accept puts the counter on her and you lose the opportunity to cast the spell. So be very careful with the arena interface on this card. Okay, Elektra, Daughter of the Hand, 3/3 for 2 and 2 black. It has sneak back from Ninja Turtles. So you can cast it for 1 and 2 black by returning an unblocked attacker you control to your hand at the end of the declare attacker step. Okay, when she enters, declare blockers step. When she enters, destroy target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less. Bonkers. This card is bonkers. I hadn't seen this card before. Didn't know I needed to play around that. Completely bonkers. Okay, Hawkeye Master Marksman, 2/2 for 1 and a red, first strike reach. When he becomes tapped, you may pay 1 up to 3 times. When you do, choose up to that many. Target creature can't block this turn. Okay. Hawkeye deals 2 damage to target player. Discard a card, then draw a card. Very, very strong card. Tons of optionality. And it's a 2/2 for 2 first strike and reach, which again, that's just good on rate. All right, so it's not specifically as white black as I thought it would be, because honestly, like the black cards, or we really only had one white card, which is a heroes build around, and then a white black card that is in equipments build around. So okay, let's see what we're looking at. Okay, number 1, Agent of Atlas, 2/2 for 2 prowess, nice and simple. Night Nurse, Healer of Heroes. This one's a 2/1 flash lifelink for 2, and when it enters, you can put a permanent that was just put into the graveyard this turn back into your hand. Raft Security Officer, kind of a speed bump. I don't love this card. It's not even a hero, so it doesn't go with my Captain America. And yeah, I have not been impressed by this. So a 1/3 for 2, maybe in a very controlling sealed deck. Okay, then we have Captain America, which we just read. Kree Commandos, this is the Iguana Parrot, almost reprint. 2/1 for 3, Flying Vigilance Prowess. Web Up is Oblivion Ring. Okoye, this card's really good. 3/2 for 4, when it enters, make 2 1/1s. Like, what the heck? Welcome to 2026, I guess. Attacking creatures you control have first strike. So just in case that wasn't enough. Wakandan Drone Flock, 3/3 for 4, flying when it enters scry 2. Not a fan of this card. I will say flying is pretty good. This is probably fine to play in sealed, but it's definitely not a pull into white. Invisible Woman, a 2/5 for 5. Oof, that's rough. Lifelink. When one or more +1/+1 counters on, when you put one or more +1/+1 counters on one or more other heroes, you can make it 0/4 wall. Oh yeah, someone played this against me at pre-release and it kind of didn't do anything at all. But it's good at blocking. Okay, holy smokes. In blue, we have 3 1-drops. Can we play blue aggro? I actually have not really gotten to play blue yet. In both of the pools I've opened so far, well, all 3 of the pools, including pre-release, it's been very weak. My blue has been very weak. So actually having 3 1-drops in blue really makes me think today is the day to try blue. Then we've Bold Biochemist. I'm really curious about this card. I haven't played with it or played against it. It reminds me, so this is a 1/3 for 2, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw 2 cards. And it really reminds me of in Avatar, the 1/3 for 2 that when it enters, you make a clue. Having said that, I think that card was a lot better. A lot better. Okay. Also, I didn't read these. So it's a 1/1 for 1 flying. Power up, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it, which is a lot. A 4/4 flyer is a lot. And then we have a 1/1 for 1. It can't be blocked, sorry, if her power is 1 or less. But then you can power it up for X into blue. That's awesome. Oh, I like that card a lot. I had not paid attention to that card yet. Super Suit, not a fan of this one. When it enters, you can attach it to a creature, untap it, and it gets +1/+2. So it's kind of a combat trick, but probably not a good one. I will say that is a way of increasing the power of Captain America, giving it +2. So something to think about. Depower, I like this card. 3. For an instant, it costs 2 less if it targets an attacking creature. The creature gets -4/-0 and to draw a card. Echo. Echo is a 1/4 for 3. Vigilance. Oof. Copy an activated or triggered ability you control from a creature source. Usually this kind of copying stuff is too slow. I would love it if this were a format where that turns out to be doable. Usually just too slow for any kind of limited. Frozen and Ice could have some removal. When it enters tap, enchanted creature loses all abilities and can't be untapped. AIM Scientist seems really strong. It's a 3/3 for 4, but when it enters, it connives. So you can often make it a 4/4 for 4. And then it has basic land cycling too. So a blue land cycler. The giant size flying ant, I would totally play this in a pinch. In Lorwyn, Glamourmite, which was a very similar card. 2/2 for 3 with a very similar combination of abilities. Actually, the same combination of abilities. Not quite, but close. It turned out to be way better in sealed than it was in draft, if I recall correctly. And I would not be at all surprised if giant size flying ant is on that same boundary where it's perfectly respectable, if not actively kind of strong in sealed, but in draft, it's like unplayable. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not betting a ton of money on it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, for this one I really wanted to try out. 4/4 for 5 flying, not usually a good stat line, but it has when you cast a non-creature spell, you get to flicker a permanent. You exile a non-land, non-token permanent and bring it back at the beginning of the next end step. You can do this to speed bump your opponent, remove an annoying ability for a little bit, or much more commonly to get another enters ability. And there's a lot of enters effects in this set. And then Atlantis Attack looks so strong for sealed. I really want to play this card. 5 and 2 blue for a sorcery, teamwork 4. And you choose one, but if you did the teamwork, you get to choose both. Target player makes a 6/5 with hexproof. So already it's 7 mana for a 6/5 hexproof, but it also can have return 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Make a 6/5. So you should read this card as you have to tap, not quite, but imagine a 6/5 for 7 that says that you can tap 4 creatures or 4 power and creatures as an additional cost to cast it. And then if you did, you get to bounce 2 of your opponent's stuff. That is so good. Okay. I'm just saying, like, 7 mana sorcery makes it look worse than it is. This is a 7 mana 6/5 with an optional bonus. And an escape hatch version where you just cast the bounce 2 creatures. But that's kind of a disaster if you have to do that. Okay, Black Widow we know about. Deadly Dispute we know about. Let's see. Decoy Ploy, you can bring a villain back and or you can bring a hero back. Red Room Recruit, such a strong card. A 1/2 for 2 when it enters, it connives. Widow's Bite, 2 mana, -2/-2. Or Death Touch, not the best card I've ever seen. However, in Sealed, this is the kind of a thing that you want. Okay. Baron Strucker, this gives your villains discounts, and when another villain enters, this guy connives. Cruel Alliance is a really strong removal spell in Sealed. You can exile a creature with, you can basically just lets you exile a creature. Okay, this is Sign in Blood, draw 2, lose 2. This one, 3/3 for 4, Death Touch. When a villain enters, put a +1 on it, and then he deals 2 to each opponent, but only once each turn. Electra, we already read, very strong card. Hydra Infiltration. When it enters, target opponent discards 2, and when you attack with just 1 creature, you drain the opponent for 1. And I have 3 of this, which might be a little bit much, but hey, I could just like totally destroy my opponent's hand, I suppose. Robot Domination is a plan. When 1 or more creatures are put into your graveyard from anywhere, so even if you surveil them into the bin, you draw a card, lose 1 life, and put a plan counter on it. When the 3rd plan counter is put on it, sack it and make 3 2/2s. I don't know how to feel about the plans yet. They have been a little bit underwhelming. They look really strong on paper, although they are enchantments that don't affect the board, but they've been really underwhelming against me, to be quite honest. Unliving Legionnaire. This is a 3/2 for 4 flyer that does some graveyard ability. Madame Mask, when she enters, she connives. And then, because you connive with her, then you immediately make a 2/1 with Menace. So you should read this as a 3/2 and a 2/1 for 5. And actually, because she connived, it's often going to be a 4/3 and a 2/1 for 5. Really strong card. And then if you keep drawing your second card each turn, you're just going to keep getting 2/1s. Okay, Hawkeye's Bow. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has reach. And when it becomes tapped, 1 damage to each opponent. Would only go in a hyper-aggressive deck. Triple Stark Industries Executive. It is a 1-drop. It is a 1-drop. Oh yes, and this is the 1/2 that makes a treasure. Tap to make it 2 tap to make a treasure. Super Speed. When it enters, enchanted creature gains 1st strike until end of turn. It gets +1/+0 and has haste. All right, Hawkeye Master Marksman. We already read that one. Looks great. Kunlun Warrior. Wow, my red is really fast. I have a lot of 2-drops. In all of my pools so far, I've been really missing 2-drops. So it's cool to see a pool where we actually do have the opportunity for some speed. Like, look at the number of 2-drops here on my screen. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so Kunlun Warrior. When it enters, you can pilfer. And maybe also when it attacks. No, just when it enters. When it enters, you can pilfer. Or sacrifice an artifact. That's the thing. Okay. Speed, Young Avenger, 2/2 for 2, haste. When you cast a non-creature spell, you can pay 1. And if you do, target creature with haste, so it could be this creature, it could be another one, can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. All right. It gains shadow, but haste. Haste shadow. Death to our enemies, 2 in a red. When you cast a non-creature spell, make a tapped treasure token and put a plan counter on this enchantment. When the 4th plan counter is put on it, sacrifice it. When you do, it deals 7 damage as you choose, divided among 1 or 2 targets. Okay, then. Kind of hard to activate, right? Yeah, that doesn't seem good. Okay, Human Torch, 2/2 for 3, flying. When you draw a card, if you have another hero, it deals 1 damage to an opponent on a Windrake. Yeah, and then you can make it big. Yeah, I don't think that's good either. Okay, 5 damage to target creature. Okay, yep, that's a very good one. Red Hulk, 6/7 for 6, reach, trample, good on rate. When it's dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When you do, it deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it to any other target. So it can just start shooting creatures. That's impressive. Oh, this card seemed really good. Photon Blast Barrage, X and 2 red. Someone played it on me yesterday, and it was just an instant 2 for 1. When you cast it, copy it X times. You may choose new targets for the copies, and it deals 1 damage. So basically, it's basically deal X damage divided however you choose. So obviously not exactly the same thing, but this is a variation on an old classic, right? X damage divided among any number of targets. Maybe Conflagrate is a better comparison from Time Spiral. Anyways, seems like a good card. Okay. Rapid Rescue. This is Seeds of Hope. Mill 2. Put a permanent from among the mill cards into your hand. You gain 2. Call Damage Control. Choose up to 2 and bring, artifact, creature, enchantment, or land to your hand. Gorilla. This card seems weak. A 2/2 for 2 reach, sack it, destroy target Oblivion Ring, basically. Any non-token artifact or non-creature enchantment. But the most important thing to destroy, I think, is Web Up. Knight of Wundagore also seemed kind of weak unless you're really dedicated +1/+1 counters, which would be so tough and sealed. So 2/1 for 2 trample. When you put a counter on another creature, put a counter on this one, but only once each turn. 2/2 for 2 flash trample. When you gain life, put a +1 counter on it. Hulkling, a 2/3 for 3 vigilance. Oof. When another creature you control enters, if it has greater power or toughness than Hulkling, put a +1 counter on Hulkling. Probably not good. Just by the basic heuristic that when something starts out understated and when you have to work to bring it up to appropriate stats, that type of card is usually not very good. Speaking of which, Mr. Hyde, 2/2 for 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1 counter on him or remove a counter from any creature you control if you do draw a card. I don't think there are a lot of stun counters in the set. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But if there are, that would be kind of a cool use for Mr. Hyde. Remove a stun counter from one of your creatures and draw a card for it. I found this like fine in sealed. Like it's a 2/2 for 3. It's not going to be amazing, but I found it just fine in sealed. It is something that like your opponent kind of has to answer. It's just that it's really slow. Draw one card every 2 turns is, you know, not going to win the game usually. Okay, however, you can have a powerful broker, 3 for 3/3, tap, add a counter of a certain kind that something already has. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, amazing. We already read it. Savage Land Dinosaur is the green basically encycler 7/6 trample for 6. Then we have Winter Soldier, Icy Assassin. We already read that one. We have a black, red, green, white, and green, blue duel. We have Hulk Gamma Goliath, a 6/5 for 5 reach trample. Power up abilities of other creatures you control. It costs 3 less to activate. Okay, so it's like a power up build around. That's kind of cool. And then it has a power up that puts a bunch of counters on it. Ant-Man, this one's really good. 2/2 for 3. When it attacks, you may pay 1. When you do, put a counter on target creature. When you put a +1/+1 counter on any creature, you make a 1/1, but only once each turn. Then we have Baxter Building, add 4 mana in any combination of colors, so it filters 4 at a time. Draw a card only if you control a creature with toughness 4 or greater. It's good for a land, right? I mean, I think this could be cool. So filtering is like fine. And then, but filtering into any combination of colors is kind of cool. It's like 4 different filter 1. And then, but then things that let you draw a card once a turn if you control a creature with, usually it's been power, but now it's toughness 4 or greater. That has usually not been a great category of card in Limited. I'm thinking of one in Avatar that was a build around that like it was always beating me, but it had like a D in the data somehow. I don't know. Okay, Surveillance Room Classic. When it enters Surveil 1, it only taps for a colorless, but then you can add 1 mana of any color. AIM Synthoids. I like this card probably way more than I should. 1/3 for 2 when it enters Surveil 2. Probably going to be a D in the data, and I'm still going to put it in every deck. Dependable Quintjet. A 3/3 for 3 flying. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Crew 4. And I have triple Dependable Quintjet, so I can depend on this Quintjet. We'll see. Maybe I want to splash. We'll see. This is one of my least, the pools that makes me least inclined to splash because all of my bombs kind of line up into 1 or 2 colors. So a bit of an odd use for some Quintjets, but maybe it's still good as just a 3/3 flyer that ramps you. And then there's Ultron Drone, 2/3 for 3, but then it has power up, put 2 +1s on it and make it 2/2. So not a great card. 3/2 for 3 or 2/3 for 3 is not what we're looking for, but it can go in any deck. So not the worst thing to have in a sealed pool. Okay, those are our cards. Let's start deck building. The very first thing I want to do, and this is a kind of personal preference thing more maybe than a statement of what I think is like exactly the best thing to do in the pool. But the name of the game here is not actually, I would like to get my gems back, obviously, but I'm not like trying to spike this random sealed event. The name of the game is learning. We're paying gems for the densest learning experience. So at this point, on run number 3 of sealed for the set, I really want to get a variety of archetypes under my belt. I have not gotten to play blue, I think, at all in sealed. Is that true? I haven't put blue in a single deck, and I've tried out 7 sealed decks now. So I really want to use, my blue looks better than it's ever been, I think, even though I still have never opened a blue rare pretty much that looked at all playable, which is really funny. So I'm at least going to try using blue as a primary color. And then I think my black is just my best color, bar none. So let's try putting together a Dimir deck that looks like this. All right, what do we think about this? I mean, it doesn't look super impressive. Basically, I get to play Black Widow and Elektra. I have definitely some card power. in like Atlantis attacks. I mean, Madam Mask is good. Oof, I don't know if I actually want to play Echo. Honestly, maybe Visions of Villainy over Echo. Does it look good? I mean, not really. I don't think that this is going to be a great deck, but I just kind of want to try blue-black and get used to some of the play patterns. I do think I have enough villains for Baron Strucker. And basically the goal of the deck is just probably like win with flying mostly. I could splash something, but like what do I even really have worth splashing? I don't want to splash Captain America. I don't think Hawkeye is very good on the splash necessarily. So yeah, let's try a game with Dimir. Once again, I think, I mean, white black wouldn't be bad, maybe. But once again, I think maybe Rakdos is my best deck, which I just keep coming back to. I wonder if Rakdos is actually good in sealed, or if I'm just learning about my own biases. But I just keep coming back to this feeling that Rakdos is really, really good in this sealed environment. Every single time, I feel like my Rakdos deck is my best deck. I don't know if that's a learning or a bias, but I just keep observing that. I don't think I can keep this hand. It's way too slow, right? I can't even play Electra necessarily on curve. My first play is a turn 4 play. My curve is also pretty good in the deck. Oof, I mean, that's pretty bad as well, but hey, at least I have some removal and some dirtling in my little control deck here. No, you have a 1-drop? Okay, that's a little scary. That's a lot scary. When this hits on turn 1, I just feel so concerned. Seriously. All right. Oh, wow. Savannah Lions. Okay. Yeah, this could be a quick loss for my not very good Dimir deck. Do I mana cycle the Scientists? I don't think so. I can always effectively cycle depower turn 3 if that's what it comes to. I guess I can just depower right now to try to draw my next card. Why don't I do that? Why don't I do that? It's not like I'm going to snap that up in combat, I don't think so. Let's just preserve our life total and cycle the card. Oh, okay. They have a whole other color going on. That actually makes me feel a little bit less worried. All right, down comes Baron Strucker. Struka, I guess. Please, German viewers, correct me. Tell me how this is actually pronounced. If you can send me a pronunciation guide, I'd appreciate it in German. I don't speak any German, as is very obvious to you now. Whoa! Hold on, I didn't even notice this was 4 colors. I thought we were playing against an aggro deck. How about we make them do some discarding? That sounds kind of good. How about you discard some of that scary stuff you've got in your hand? I could wait one more turn and play the AIM Scientist here, but I don't really want to. Giant Size Flying Ant also doesn't really ambush Nick Fury. Photon Blast Barrage. Double red in your 4-color deck. That's ambitious. Okay, Loki. I'm not a big fan of this card. I think it's probably too slow, but I'm glad that someone's playing it against me so that I can actually get some intel on it. Aerial Doombot, you say. I wonder if I just run out the AM Scientist, because I can't ambush either of these cards with the Flying Ant. It would just be a trade. So why don't we go ahead and play this, see if we can draw a land. I would discard probably... Oh yeah, let's discard Wiccan. I guess it's kind of good to be able to flicker my AIM Scientist, though, isn't it? Maybe I just discard Giant Size Flying Ant. It lines up so badly here. That kind of sounds right. All right, so let's see if we've speed bumped them or if they kept a removal spell, which would make a lot of sense. They still have 1 card that they kept. It could have been Loki. It could have been. Yeah, I would keep Loki and discard the land and the card that I can't play. So definitely. Oh, Electra. Hey there. Let's see. Yeah, how about Electra plus a Doombot? I doubt that they're going to block me, so I can probably do that attack. And then I get to bounce my Scientist and do another Connive. That sounds good. That does leave me open to getting attacked. So actually, yeah, maybe I just play Electra. I don't think I need to get super greedy here. So I'm going to shoot Nick Fury if at all possible, because it does look like this is a Nick Fury build-around deck where they're trying to get all 5 colors assembled. They're just missing blue. Yeah, now I can attack because Electra is untapped, so. Is this deal 4 damage to an attacking creature that they kept? No, okay. Yeah, so I didn't want to attack, play Electra, bounce the Scientist, play Aerial Doombot, and have two things. Well, I would only have had one thing attacking me, so maybe that actually was the best line. Get a little bit more development. I'm not sure. Vigilance, Indestructible, and Haste. So I can Frozen and Ice that and just not have to worry about it. That probably sounds correct. Oh, do I just play Wiccan and get greedy with it? Kind of want to get greedy with it. So Hercules will be able to deal 4 damage to me once. That sounds fine. So probably let's start by just attacking with everything. I think that sounds worth it. In with the team. I'm kind of liking Dimir. No matter how this game goes, I think I'll do another game with this deck. All right, hopefully, I know there's a double strike trick. Hopefully, hold on. Is there, okay, so they do, why didn't they power up? Actually, now I'm confused. Why didn't they power up last turn? They didn't have something to play and they had a green untapped. They could have powered up their Hercules, right? I'm not sure what that means. They want it to gain Vigilance, Indestructible, and Haste on a different turn. Maybe they're trying to save it in response to like blank or removal spell. That could be it. Okay, now you get a counter on each creature you control. So I can flicker their stuff to remove the counters, or I can just flicker Electra to like kill Loki. So I have essentially a double removal spell here, which is pretty awesome. Okay, what does this do again? So when it enters, put a counter. If it's a hero, put 2 counters. Okay. So I'm going to Frozen in Ice. Maybe on the Wakandan Royal Guard, and do I win? No, I can only deal 8 damage. Hold on. Is there any way to get an extra damage in here? So play Frozen and Ice, tap down a blocker. I get to flicker Electra. Electra kills Loki, but then it can't attack. Oh, also, it only comes back at the end of the turn, right? So I can't kill Loki before blocks. So Electra actually cannot attack here, period. So, okay, let's just lock this guy down. It does have Vigilance, so... Oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? I was thinking so much about Electra. But of course, the other use case of Wiccan is to push damage, right? So I can actually just go in for lethal. Okay, yeah. I knew that when I read... Wiccan the first time. Remember I said it's like you can either push damage with it or you can get an enters ability. I'm still getting used to how these cards play together, obviously, so this is good. This is good practice. This is good learning. Next time, if that comes up in the win-a-box event or one of the Arena Championship qualifiers, then now I will hopefully find the lethal line immediately. All right, 1-0. I'm gonna play with this deck again. It was fun. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, I think this looks like a good hand. We're going to find out how good Stature is in Sealed with no real, like, +1/+1 counter synergies or anything. And I guess in a not very aggressive deck. And Baron Strucker currently has no support in my hand, but okay. All right. Land is not exactly what I wanted to draw here. Okay, Widow's Bite, I guess, is a pretty nice one. I don't exactly know when in the game to upgrade Stature. Probably like a very late turn when you just have nothing going on. Unfortunately for me, every turn is a very early turn when I have nothing going on. I'm happy to run this guy out into Quench. I mean, whatever. Something's going to get quenched eventually, and I don't think I'm supposed to just play around Quench forever. No, maybe you could make an argument that I was just supposed to sit on that. Whatever. Like, that Quench is going to be good one day or another, right? Okay, so this is when a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere. So Cruel Alliance looking pretty nice right about now. Let's go ahead and Surveil. Oh, I actually really like Visions of Villainy. So next turn, I'm about to have 4 lands. Next turn I'll have 5, which means I can Visions of Villainy holding up Widow's Bite. Okay. Sounds good to me. Unfortunately, Widow's Bite does give them an extra card back. Yeah. So I would say end of their turn, let's kill Herbie, even though it gives them a card. Right? I don't think you're supposed to just not kill your opponent's stuff because that card is out. I think that cannot be right. I just think that can't be right, that you're supposed to just not do anything forever because that card is there. Sounds wrong to me. So tap, tap. Go ahead and draw 2, lose 2. Play a land next in with these 2. And then, yeah, let's just run out Black Widow, right? No reason not to. Well, maybe Baron Strucker would have been good, but it's like part of why I did that was... Oh, it's not even a villain. Okay, yeah, it was because I had no villains anywhere in sight. But I guess it would have gotten to connive when Synthoids came in. So now they definitely need something to deal with Black Widow, but they've had a million opportunities to draw something. Ooh, love this land. I never noticed the elephant before. Okay, Hour of Defeat on Black Widow. Sure. Maybe I should have held it and played the giant-sized flying ant or whatever. Let's do this before combat. Just to see what we get here. No Quench to play around. Yeah, probably just pitch the land at this point. I don't really need AIM Scientists to get any bigger, I don't think. So let's swing in with these 2. I have the opponent reasonably low, though I am confident there's plenty that gets them back into this game. I guess it would have been nice to have Madam Mask down before I played the AIM Scientist, but I drew that off of it, so there was no such sequencing to be done. Okay, they're looking very carefully at my graveyard for some reason. They're looking through everyone's graveyard, so there's something that brings a creature back from any graveyard that they're thinking about. Or something that gets bigger when there's more stuff in the graveyard or something. Oh, getting a nice little 2-for-1 here. So I will cast this with Teamwork. Exile target creature. Actually, hold on. Because I drew Red Room Recruit, I do it like this. So play the Red Room Recruit. Maybe this, you know, no matter what, I'll tap that. Oh, actually, Hydra Infiltration looks awesome. Maybe I pitch the Ant at this point. Wow, I'm discarding this Ant all the time, but Madam Mask is better. I think Hydra Infiltration, we'll see, but they're going to draw a card, and we'll see what they do next turn. I think Hydra Infiltration is good here. Is the Ant better than Madam Mask? Probably not. Okay, I'll pitch that. Then let's cast Cruel Alliance with Teamwork. And it is a Cruel Alliance indeed to exile your super intelligent AIM Scientists, which, by the way, I don't know anything about Marvel, but that feels like a flavor win. For the AIM Scientists to be super intelligent. Feels like a flavor win. Okay. Oh, Taskmaster. I know this one because I played against it yesterday. So, okay, maybe I could have guessed that that's why they were looking so carefully at everybody's graveyard. Okay, so let's see. Attack with everything, and they have to block Stature, and then I can kill their card. That kind of sounds right. If they have a removal spell, they can kill my AIM Scientists. I could also just attack with Stature and give it +4. It looks like I'm winning unless they have a removal spell. So I could also be careful by just playing the Hydra Infiltration. This is probably going to turn into like a Black Widow. I could play the Hydra Infiltration, then attack with Stature, drain them, get rid of whatever's in their hand. Kind of just want to attack with everything, honestly. Feels like maybe we can just close this game out. Let's see. Like, they can't have Cruel Alliance. They could have Widow's Bite, I guess. Yeah, well, let's attempt this. Let's at least attempt this. Okay, they have Dark Deed. It was a risky line, but I have them at 4. I mean, they've got to do stuff here. It was a riskier line, so they can get their own Black Widow and attack me, and then cast something from my library. I definitely chose the riskier line against a Dimir control deck. Oh, you're making it your very own Taskmaster to make it huge? That's interesting to me. I probably would have gone for Black Widow in their shoes. Yeah, I probably would have gone for Black Widow, but I guess this does stop my attacks. The thing is, though, if I can just go wide, which I can, then I can get around that. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, play this card and connive. See what we draw. Maybe I pitch the infiltration at this point, even though draining is really good, isn't it? Maybe draining is better than the ant, to be honest. Better than the ant. And then I will go ahead and play this card because it's representing another way of dealing lethal next turn. No need to attack here, and let's see what they can get off the top. There's no board wipe or anything that that they can copy out of someone's bin, is there? Yeah, I don't think they have great copies here. Oh, can they just keep doing that over and over again? Can they, when they copy, judge rules question, when they copy stature, can they just keep giving it extra counters? That's pretty cool. I assume so, but I'm not sure. I would assume so, though. The fact that they're choosing so carefully is worrisome to me, because it kind of seems like they found something that keeps them alive, and this decision matters. Kind of sounds like they drew a good card into their hand. It's been about a minute of thinking. Oh wow, they're thinking really hard. We're on multiple timers at this point. They're really pondering which creature is going to save them here. And I guess you wouldn't want to miss the selection that saves the game, but I doubt there's one creature that is going to save the game for you. So whatever they drew into their hand must be pretty good. All right. All right, well, whatever it was, it didn't do it. GG's. Yeah, I mean, with the box on the line, I probably would not have made that risky attack, but I just felt like I was in a pretty comfortable position. Kind of just want to keep going with Dimir. Blue is feeling fine, kind of lukewarm. I keep pitching these giant size flying ants. I don't know if that's correct. Maybe I should cut one of them for an unliving legionnaire. All right, I'm going to keep doing Dimir for a bit, but I might switch to Rakdos later on. I just keep feeling like Rakdos is really good in this format. It just keeps being where I settle whenever I keep trying to change my deck to find the best one. But I have no idea if that's actually true or just small sample size or just my bias. Who knows? All right, on to the next one. Tricky hand. I'm kind of tempted to mull. So usually, yes, you should keep a hand that has only one of your colors if you have like a normal mana base and has a 2-drop and some future. That would usually be a keep. It kind of changes the story that my 2-drop is a removal magnet, so I'm a little worried that they're just going to kill it immediately. Having said that, it's a card that will just take over the game if they can't remove it, and it's pretty good on turn 2, right? Could be kind of game defining if they don't have removal in their opener, although I dare not hope. Okay, so actually, no. Probably I'll just run out the Bold Biochemist first. I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe that's kind of playing chicken. Well, they're in the most removal heavy colors possible, so yeah, I'll do that. It is kind of playing chicken, but now I kind of want to bait removal. The fact that they're black-red, where all the removal is centered in the set, makes me think that, yes, we should just be a little cautious. Okay. When another artifact enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. That said, I now have nothing to do this turn. So I feel like let's actually just run it out. I know I just gave all these reasons not to just run it out, but I don't think it's enough to just not do anything for a turn. That feels clearly wrong. And it's still pretty commanding because if they play a creature here, I can giant-sized flying ant tapping down one of their blockers and get in with Black Widow, get the counter, and make her like more annoying to block next time. With that said, I would bet a good chunk of change that they're just going to snap off a removal spell on Black Widow. Also, I do have Unliving Legionnaire, which kind of helps, right? That helps the whole like playing out a bomb idea. So I'd really like to play Unliving Legionnaire on 7 because I really want to get the value out of it. I love my opponent's companion here. Very, very adorable. They've used a timeout, which makes me think that they do not have a removal spell. Or maybe they have like 3 different removal spells and they're trying to reason out which one to use. Okay, well, that was it. But it does not get exiled, so be able to just snap it up later on. Okay, I like that they had to think about that, though. I think let's go for AIM Scientist. I would really like to... I don't want to play the Unliving Legionnaire yet, like I said, and I'd like to hit my next land drop. Oh, actually, Hydra Infiltration is really good. Maybe let's just drop the Aerial Doombot here. I will get to double spell with it. Do I actually pitch the Flying Ant? I feel like I should just stop discarding that card. Yeah, let's play Hydra Infiltration next turn, probably. I really do want to hit my lands, though. A little unfortunate to not get lands. But we'll see. Maybe they have destroy target creature or something. Then I make them discard 2 remaining cards. Oh, what? This card, yeah. So flying lifelink, pay 3 at connives. You can only do it during your turn. And all of my stuff gets -1. Sounds like a candidate for enchanting creature losing all abilities. That sounds like where this is headed. Even if I had kept the 1-drop. Okay, this is interesting, actually. Even if I kept the 1-drop, I wouldn't be able to double spell because it's 2 blue pips. So I could just bet on finding a land and play Red Room Recruit, but that's so bad if I don't find a land. So let's go ahead and lock this guy down, get rid of its very unfortunate abilities. And yeah, I can attack for 4. So MODOK, you are now tapped and you have no abilities. And they're not in the colors where they have the monkey. The monkey that can sacrifice to destroy target frozen in ice. I think it can be untapped, right? I could technically untap that. No, it can't become untapped. Another rare, but it's just a 5-mana rock. Yeah, this seems like more of a commander or cube. Probably not even cube, more of a commander card. Maybe cube. All right, I'll take it. Okay, so let's empty their hand. And then, okay, what do we get? Oh, Bullseye is really nice. And Red Hulk, wow. Yeah, Hydra Infiltration, good and sealed, I think. All right, let's attack, and we get a drain from this attack, which I think is really good for the race. Play a land. Happy that I drew a land. I would like to draw another land, actually. That would be ideal. Yeah, I don't think that this is a good card for limited. Maybe if you're in like some extremely dedicated draft deck that is entirely built around artifacts, then you could pull it off. Ooh, Atlantis attacks is pretty awesome. Yeah. I keep discarding this ant, but it kind of sounds, you know what, at this point I think let's pitch the Unliving Legionnaire. No, let's pitch the ant. It's so funny. This card is only in my deck to be discarded. I just think the ant is worth extra. Like, I get to attack no matter what. I guess the ant was probably the move, because then I could play it at the end of their turn, tap something, and just get in so much extra damage. But doesn't this just seem so good? Like, if I draw a single land, I'm off to the races, and this guy can draw me 2 cards, worst case scenario. I guess my opponent might, like, they have all the mana in the world, so. But if they just find, like, spot removal or something, that's not going to do it. Depower, not what I was looking for, so let's go ahead and level this guy up. And then I think it's worth attacking with both. Oh, yeah, no, it's not like when you add a counter, you get the card or anything. I think I can run the land out. Not a very good reason. There's no very good reason not to. I think it's worth attacking with both rather than draining. The extra damage seems important here. And then we have Atlantis attacks. I will choose not to bounce MODOK. Yeah, someone MODOK'd me at pre-release. It was not fun. I was 2-0 and then I got MODOK'd. MODOK and 2 other rares in the first 5 turns of the game. Yeah. Okay. So now we have Atlantis attacks mana, but there aren't really 2 things that I want to bounce. So maybe I do. Let's attack with the Red Room Recruit. Oh, actually, Widow's Bite is kind of nice against MODOK. If it ever gets unlocked, which I don't really think it will. I wonder what they're splashing blue for. I don't have lethal in any way, do I? No. I'm like substantially off of that. Okay. All right. And with the recruit, drain them for 1. Then maybe let's just do the Unliving Legionnaire. It could get quenched. That's perfectly fine. Am I getting this glitch again? Seriously, it looks like I had 2 mana untapped. I got that glitch yesterday and it was really bad for my draft, where like a land just disappears. So I will go and get, probably at this point, giant-sized flying ant is the best one to snap up, because it is a lethal attacker in the air and then some, and it can tap down a blocker. Widow's Bite on that guy is fine, but if I'm reading this correctly, yes, the rest of the power-up ability resolves. It's not like whatever that thing was where like when you put a counter, something happens. All right. Okay, cool. 3-0. Dimir control, looking pretty good. So yeah, that is going to be win number 3 on the board. 0 losses so far. And yeah, on to the next one. So, my friends, as a reminder, the point of what we're doing today is getting as good as possible at Marvel Superheroes Sealed, because there's an Arena Direct on Tuesday. And then also there's going to be a bunch of Arena Championship qualifier play-ins coming up, some of which do feature the sealed Marvel format. So if you want to get good at sealed right along with me, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I am going to be doing another sealed tomorrow. And then on Monday, I'm going to bundle up all of my learnings together with what I see in the very, very, very early format data. And we're going to talk about what the best strategies are going into the Arena Direct on Tuesday. So make sure that you're subscribed to keep up with those learnings. All right, what have we got here? Widow's Bite, Baron Stulka, and Madam Mask. All right, I'm keeping it. I am keeping it. Ooh, Red Room Recruit. What could make this hand better is a Red Room Recruit on turn 2. All right, this is making me feel good about my deck. This feels good. I wonder if I actually just pitch Depower here. Like, I get a counter out of it, and I would have just cycled this card anyways. And I really want to hit my lands. I really want to go Baron Strucker on 3 into Madam Mask on 4. That sounds pretty good. And they do not have access to Quench this time. So in with the Recruit. And let's drop Baron Strucker. And I just got another 4-drop if I don't manage to do the Struckerness. Also, it's kind of a non-combo. Okay, you're a 1/4 Flying Vigilance because this thing connives and then this guy connives, but it doesn't double trigger Madam Mask, but that's okay. So you're a 1/4 Flying Vigilance. +1/+0 for each other artifact, so not too worrisome right now. Hold on. That's a blue-red card. Okay, so they were stuck on lands. They're actually Jeskai. Maybe primary blue-red. When it attacks, if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I could attack with both and then Widow's Bite, either the Death Touch or -2 mode to kill them. Let's just make some... yeah, no, let's attack first. Yeah, no blocks. Okay, so they're not giving me that option. That makes a lot of sense. I think good play by them. Knowing that Widow's Bite is in the format makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's pitch a land. And then another draw. I do choose to have it connive. This time let's pitch... Oh, now I want all of my lands. Maybe let's pitch Widow's Bite here, actually. Double Widow's Bite seems a little excessive. So, all right. And then this is actually a 3/2 menace. Wow, my deck is like... Apparently, it's blue-red. I thought it was Dimir Control. Not blue-red. Black-blue. I thought it was Dimir Control, but it turns out it is actually Dimir Aggro. Okay, hold on. Super Adaptoid is another card that I got hit with at pre-release, along with that other one that has lifelink, the one we were talking about last game. Very unfortunate for me. Maybe I shouldn't have pitched Widow's Bite. Maybe I should have pitched the Ant again. But okay, I'm definitely going to try to smack this Adaptoid with a -2/-2. That sounds correct. Okay, so it's not just splashing white. They have 2 planes now. Looks like it might be full on Jeskai, or Iron Man is on the splash, which will be interesting. I would love to find something else to do next turn alongside the Widow's Bite, but that Super Adaptoid has got to die. It has got to die. Hulk Smash. Okay, sure. I guess she's pretty good, especially in combination with Baron Strucker. Do I just attack with everything first? Kind of sounds right. So in with the team, I'm actually not anticipating any blocks. You know what? I should have held back Baron Strucker because I cannot teamwork here. My bad. My bad. That was a bad play. Well, Atlantis Attacks is going to be really good against Super Adaptoid. Vigilance Flying. Yeah, this puts me in a bad position of having to give that -2. Let's just hope that Super Adaptoid doesn't get super out of control, but I actually don't necessarily hate killing that one because it's going to keep filling up their hand. I was actually kind of on the fence about which one I wanted to kill. So actually, I don't hate that I attacked with Baron Strucker. This shrinks this down to a 1/2, and there are no other keywords that they can grab out of it. And Giant Size Flying Ant can keep it a little bit under control. Oh dear, what the heck? This format is just so full of mega bombs. Okay. When you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1 on each other creature you control. I cannot even target it with the Ant or with Atlantis attacks. Yeah, that's really bad for me. That is really bad for me. They're not able to give it prowess. I guess it's only like evergreen abilities. Okay, do I just attack with everything to push an extra 2 damage here? That potentially just makes sense to me. They would kill Baron Struker, but little do they know Baron Struker kind of sucks. End of their turn, I could play the Ant and tap down Super Adaptoid. So they might like make attacks and not knowing that that's happening. They can't cast a non-creature spell here to blow me out. I'm basically just giving them a free Baron Struker. They're probably taking 5, going to 4. And then the Ant plus 1 other attacker kills them. And I'm going to have Atlantis attacks to bounce 2 blockers if I want to. I like the aggro move. I think that's correct. And I don't think they're going to double block. I think Super Adaptoid feels too good. Yeah, okay. I actually thought that they would block Super Adaptoid. Or I thought they would block Baron Struker, I mean. So that's kind of interesting. So end the turn. And then on their upkeep, do I tap down Super Adaptoid because it has Vigilance? That actually sounds right to me. Actually, no, because I don't know what blocker I'm going to want to tap down. Well, I can bounce something as well. So yeah, let's do it on their upkeep. I mean, they might have Quench here. So I'll tap that guy. All right, stop done. Let's go to your draw. This does give them the information about what's going on this turn, but my hope is that they just play like a blocker, something like that, that I can bounce with Atlantis attacks. I'm hoping not to have to do teamwork on this because tapping any 2 of my creatures to pay for teamwork 4 would make me have to tap down. I hate that this has hexproof. That's just so strong. But okay, looks like I win, right? Just gonna double check here. But I can Atlantis attacks, bounce those 2. You have 1 blocker for my 3/2, and then I sneak through 5 damage. So I think the aggro plan worked. Gonna do this without teamwork, but let's just bounce those 2. Boing, boing. And in with the team, and you can block 1. And you're going to take 5 and lose. Good games. Good games. Yeah, I'm not super happy with how I played that. Was a little suspicious not killing the Super Adaptoid, but in the end, I think that was absolutely right, because the other card could have been drawing cards conceivably. Maybe they had lines where they could play more artifacts and get a bunch of draw online. Super Adaptoid just didn't do much. If they had played a lifelinker, that's when I would have gotten into trouble. A First Striker or a lifelinker. I'm assuming Super Adaptoid can get those abilities. They're both evergreen. So like First Striker or lifelinker would have been where I get punished for throwing away 1 -2/2 trick and spending the other one on something other than Super Adaptoid. But that didn't happen. My hand felt really good though. That felt like the best that my deck could possibly do pretty much. So I feel like if I'd gotten a little less lucky with my draws, they would have crushed me. They seem to have a lot of card power in there. All right, do I play out Black Widow here? I think probably. It sets me up for a D power if they do a fancy double block. There's a bit of a paradox with Black Widow where you want to play it early because it's so good, and it's especially good before they have a large board that can organize big double blocks. But on the other hand, it's also less good early because you don't have mana to spend on playing their spells, and you have a bunch of cards in your hand that you want to play, and you don't want it to get removed early. So it's an interesting, like, kind of, I've played with it in 2 different decks now, and it's a really interesting tension. I will say this is clearly one of the best cards in the set. Very, very brutal for them to have it on turn 2, but these things happen. Or turn 3, I mean. All right, well, at least I can double spell. That was a nice draw, actually. But I wouldn't be surprised if now they have like a bite spell or something to take down Black Widow. Or web up, perhaps. But I can play giant-sized Flying Ant. If they don't deal with Black Widow and they don't leave back 3 creatures, then giant-sized Flying Ant can get a Black Widow attack through, get a counter, and then Black Widow is large and becomes like annoying to block. Like, for example, right now, if they double block Black Widow and I depowered their Death Toucher, oh, that's bold. You can power up, so I can't block there. Smart attack. Sounds like they have removal for Black Widow then. And I depowered their Death Toucher, then Black Widow could only kill 1 of the creatures. But if she had a counter, she would be able to kill both in that situation. All right, I'll go ahead and play this. Is it a flash creature? Flash removal? All right, well, I'll just go in with both. I mean, they obviously have something, but I'm holding D-Power and giant-sized flying ant. Oh, it's exile target tapped creature. Hold on. Hold on a second. Does this work? You haven't declared a target yet. It's when it enters. Oh, this is so sweet. Untap Black Widow. Okay, you can exile a tap creature. Oh, man. That's too awesome. That is too awesome. Let's go ant. Okay, so I'm not able to play that. So take action means I get the counter. All right. That was so cool. Super villain lockup. Oh. We didn't even know that it could fail in that way, did we? All right, now they're powering this guy up. Yeah, feels pretty good. Maybe AIM Synthoids into Visions of Villainy would be good here, but I kind of want to attack. The thing about attacking with Black Widow is she would die. She would die. So could also play Stature. Do I want to attack? Yeah, probably. Let's start with AIM Synthoids, see what we're working with. And the reason I do that is because then I'm going to control a villain. And Visions of Villainy will cost less. So I think 2 lands is actually good, right? That's exactly what I want. Because that brings me up to Atlantis attacks, which is probably a winning card. So I'll go ahead and draw... Oh, I screwed up so badly. I was supposed to reorder and put the island on top. My bad. My bad. Sorry, folks. That was like a... Oh, no. I draw 2. I draw 2. So I get to play it and play Stature. I thought that I kind of like screwed up by not being able to play Stature. But in fact, I can play Stature. And actually, I do not think I'm supposed to attack here because I'm way lower. I think I'm doing pretty well in the long run. I do not have D-Power up, which is a combat relevant card. I think I just want to be on the offense. Okay, that does not add another color to their arsenal, so that's good because I've had blue since day 1 over there. What's this guy's ability again? When a non-land permanent you control is returned to its owner's hand, put a +1 counter on it. So Atlantis attacks would beef that guy up. A little scary. Okay, when 1 or more counters are put on a permanent, when you put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent instead. Okay, so you get an extra counter. Add 1 mana of any color. Add X mana of any color where X is its power. Okay. I can depower that to make it not add much mana, but I think, do I just crash in for 5 here? Sounds kind of good. And then next turn, I'm Atlantis attacking. So in with this card. Go to blockers. Well, you can't block. And then let's just do this for X equals 4. Right? Sounds right. Kind of like this. All right, bonk in for 5. Just get a big chunky creature. Doesn't feel like a great use of a turn, but hey, at least it's not just some silly 1/1 unblockable forever. I would like the card that makes him discard twice. Maybe I should be playing 3 copies of it. It's just that if you draw like 2 copies of that in the late game, it's so bad. That card is going to be dead a lot of the time. I think you never want to draw more than 1 in a game, but you pretty much want to draw 1 every game. Okay, so we're definitely going to go for Atlantis attacks here, and maybe that will get us a Black Widow attack. Feels like Mega Prime #1 could be a Marvel reference. I don't know. As someone who knows nothing about Marvel, I'm not sure. They also have Iron Man sleeves, so I feel like I'm playing against like a... Oh, and a Captain America avatar. I feel like I'm playing against a Marvel superfan here, and they probably have a competitive advantage against me because I know like who all these characters are. Oh, and a companion that's Iron Man. That's awesome. Kudos to you, Mega Prime #1. You're living your best life, just all decked out in all Marvel stuff. That's cool. Young Avenger is probably also a Marvel reference. Maybe. I don't know. What do I know? Oh no, do they have their own? They just highlighted 2 of my creatures. Do they have their own Atlantis attacks off of Doc Samson? It looks like that's where this is headed, doesn't it? Well, you definitely... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Atlantis attacks. They're tapping Doc Samson to cast it. Well, I read that one pretty nicely, but it doesn't make me feel much better about it. So, is this actually the right thing to do, or is it just the funny thing to do? Pretty sure I just bound Serpent Specialist and Doc Samson with Atlantis attacks and make my own 6/5. My other option is I could play an Unliving Legionnaire with nothing in the bin. Yeah, okay. All right, that's the clear thing to do. So teamwork, I'll do both. I choose to make the 6/5. Let's bounce the Doctor and the Serpent Specialist. Maybe I actually bounce Undercover Scroll. Well, no, this effectively costs them 4 mana to recast. So yeah, let's do that. Pay the 7, tap, tap. Too bad I can't bounce their token because it has hexproof. I think you want to be the second person. Oh, you do get this. So maybe I should have actually bounced Justice, but that just feels so bad. It just feels so bad to bounce the Justice, doesn't it? I was thinking earlier about bouncing it though, so maybe that was the right impulse. Oh well. Hopefully I can put together some nice attacks here. Okay, well, I'll definitely just block that guy. Definitely. Okay. All right. So probably play Black Widow and Stature. I cannot play Unliving Legionnaire. I mean, I could play Unliving Legionnaire. Actually, yeah, I think let's just run out the Unliving Legionnaire because I also have D-Power. I can organize a double block. Do I? Probably not. Maybe I can just make Stature a 4/4 if I want to. I will take some pain here. Yeah, maybe I don't want to just take a bunch of damage. How greedy is it to play the Unliving Legionnaire? Maybe I should have chumped. Oh no, I didn't. I only had 1 6/5 untapped. I was definitely right not to go down to 4. Yeah, probably not bouncing Justice was the mistake, even though the Enters effect is so strong. I mean, I could also probably actually what I do is start attacking with the giant size flying ant, and then when they attack with Justice, I just depower it. That actually sounds like the best plan here. And they'll probably attack with some stuff on the ground, so I can like get something for Unliving Legionnaire to bring back. This just makes me start winning the race if I do this one. All right. They actually cannot level this up in the same, or power it up. They can? Oh, it's discounted by the green pip. That's really good to know. Okay. So you get a 4/3 over there. Yeah, it kind of feels like I fell behind. Mainly because of their 4/4 flyer. Flying is just so good in this set. But hopefully Unliving Legionnaire will fix that problem for us. Let's just see what else they have. I would love to make them discard 2 cards, but it looks like they actually have something else to play here. They do have like 1,000,000 mana at their disposal after all. Oh yeah, what was I saying? They totally could power this up because they have so many ways of producing mana with creatures. Looks like maybe they're going to kill Stature somehow. If it's a bite spell, target creature control fights a creature an opponent controls. Okay, so let's go right ahead and hold on. Yeah, if I depower it, you'll get a counter, but then if I depower it, you get a counter, and then it goes up to having 0 power. Okay, hold on, what? What? I'm sorry, how did that happen? Oh, I forgot its ability. Nope, good point. Very good point. I forgot its ability that it would add 2 counters. Okay, horrible blunder. Horrible blunder by me, obviously. So I could have depowered Knight of Wundagore. Oh, they also have something combat relevant here. Okay, well, I can't whine and moan too much because I did misplay. Like, I could have made this not deal that much damage to me here. But holy cow, that was a absolute blowout. Absolute blowout. That they had 2 different combat relevant cards. Do I just die at this point if I activate Unliving Legionnaire? I think so. I think I'm going to need to go into like mega blocking mode. It's like block there, give something -2 and chump something. Yeah, no, I lost, didn't I? Oh, that's such a shame. But them just having all action in their hand definitely sealed the deal. Like, yes, I screwed up with the Go Nuts by forgetting about the passive ability of Doc Samson. But at the same time, I highly doubt that there was much that I could do here, given that they had like 3 different tricks going on all at the same time. Don't tell me you got... I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, I've lost, but... If they got another combat relevant card, I'm going to be... Oh, something had trample. What was that card that had trample? The 2-1 has trample. Okay, whatever. I was super dead at that point. I'm going to keep playing with this deck because it just feels like if I were more familiar with the cards and like remembered that static ability, I'm not saying I would have won, but I definitely had options to make a much better show of it. But yeah, also it's like really hard to play around when your opponent has like 3 different tricks in their hand and can afford all of them. I guess they had a creature and 2 tricks. Yeah, that's pretty hard. But even harder to play around when you don't pay attention to the static abilities. Also, if I'd had 1 more land, I could have... Actually, it didn't even matter. All right, I'll keep this. Looks pretty good. Can probably kill 2 creatures. And then lead up to Madame Mask. Oh, sounds good. All right, opponent mulligans. All right, lead with an island, I guess. Doesn't really matter, but I need to play 2 swamps in pretty short order. What does this do? When it becomes tapped to pay a teamwork cost, put a +1 counter on it and draw a card. So you would have priority to do that if you have a teamwork card in your hand to play right now. So let's not even go there. Let us not risk that at all. Electra looks pretty good with Aerial Doombot, I guess. If only the Doombot did something when you leveled it up. Wow, I wish I had something to deal with that undercover scroll. All right, play this and look like we're representing Quench. Yeah, I wish I had a -2/-2 for this one too. But at least I can kill it next turn. Yeah, it would have been a lot nicer if I had Aerial Doombot at the beginning. Okay. They did not play around Quench. All right, well, let's just play Electra. See if it resolves. I don't think there is a 1-mana counter here, but yeah, I'll definitely take out Mr. Hyde and let their undercover scroll get big. That's just fine. Especially with a D power in hand. That is just fine. Okay, what does this do when you gain life, put a +1? Do I want that trade? Probably not. I think I'm the beatdown, actually. So, in with both. Holding up D power in case I have some kind of combat trick that I really care about. We shall see. All right. It's 4 damage in, and then I'll go ahead and play Madame Mask. I assume there's no countering happening here. Probably just pitch Red Room Recruit. It seems fine on this board, but actually, it's kind of good. Well, D-Power, if I play it during my turn, would also draw me a card. I just feel like Conniving is pretty good here, isn't it? I kind of want all of my cards. Yeah, I think Draw a Card is just better. I think drawing a card in Magic is good. This is my hot take. Also, Madame Mask might not be long for this world. It looked like they were thinking about killing something on a previous turn. They were like highlighting my card a bunch. Made me think they might have a kill spell. A bite spell, perhaps. Undercover Scroll into Electra. What do you do? Right. If they've cast a spell this turn, you can cast spells as though they had flash. Oh, well, Frozen in Ice is a nice little answer to that, isn't it? Freeze that guy in ice. Attack with everyone except Madame Mask, which I don't really want to trade. I could depower one of my creatures. I could depower my Aerial Doombot, draw a card, and make it 2/2. Is that actually good? Okay, well, then I'll definitely depower Undercover Scroll. It actually doesn't really matter because I'm gonna... Oh, it has to target an attacking creature is the other thing. Do I want a 2/1 that badly? Yeah, I really want to do this during my turn. Make a 2/1 draw card, 1 mana for a 2/1 draw card, and your opponent gains 1 life. Yeah, I would totally do that. When you draw your second card each turn. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, no. That made sense. I think that made sense. Yeah, please don't Arena. Why do you do this to me? I want to deal the damage to the thing that would die if I deal damage to it. Thank you. All right. quick win. It was a really strong hand, I think. Would have been nicer if we had the 1-drop on 1, obviously, but still a very nice hand. I will claim that. I mean, I think that, like, the 4-3 that connives and makes it 2-1, like, that card is just so bonkers. All right, on to the next one. All right, very, very, very keepable hand. Actually, like, an excellent hand. Red Room Recruit on 2, yes, please. Maybe AIM Synthoids looks a little bad in comparison. Honestly, I might just pitch the Synthoids here. I definitely want a land. I'm digging to find lands as quickly as possible. Yeah, let's pitch the Synthoids. Double Hydra Infiltration actually sounds kind of good. And Visions of Villainy, if I don't draw a land next turn, I can play it and draw. I'm just praying that they don't kill my Red Room Recruit and then I don't draw a land. That would be the worst case scenario. Play the land, and then I think I do want a Visions of Villainy myself. I think the Bold Biochemist would be actually a fine 4-drop. So let's do that. Nice. Finding all of my lands. And then I do not think I'm the beatdown, right? Let's just not attack. I think I want this game to go long, probably, given that I'm about to empty out their hand. Oh, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, that might be one that I would want to Widow's Bite. Yeah, because when you put a +1 on him, you're going to get a +1 on Knights of Wundagore. Let's just kill that right now. You know, actually, do I attack and try to tempt them into a bad double block? I highly doubt that they're going to do that. I just highly doubt that they're going to do that. So let's hold back for blockers. Part of the reason I'm happy to hold this back as a blocker is because if they put 1 counter on it next turn, I can still kill it. I can still trade with Red Room Recruit. Another thing to say is now I get to double spell next turn because of that card sequence. I mean, I would have gotten to double spell with the other order as well. But this means I get to go Hydra Infiltration first, let's say, before they know what else is happening. They must have something. Maybe destroy target creature. So let's ask them to discard 2 cards. Now I think I do start attacking. I think I'll just go in with Red Room Recruit. Because I'm about to start attacking in the air. Oh, 2 lands. Oh, maybe they're flooded? I don't know. So attack with the Red Room Recruit. I'm highly unlikely to block with Bold Biochemist, but I really don't want the Biochemist to get into combat. It's worth 2 cards if it can survive 2 more turns. Well, 1 more turn if I hit a land next turn, actually. Who is this character? It looks like a Johnny, but this is not Magic land. This is Marvel land. Yeah, and the aerial Doombot is going to be the Doom. It spells Doom in the long run. If it lives long enough. Are they just completely flooded? I think that's very possible that they're just completely flooded. All right, let's see if we can get 2 more cards out of that hand. Yeah, Hydra Infiltration, so nasty and sealed. Cards that make the opponent discard multiple cards. 1 card that makes you discard 2 cards. Usually not very good in draft, very good in sealed. Wow. We got Ares, God of War out of their hand. All right, in with the Doombot. I could also attack with Red Room Recruit, but I think let's just start. Like, it's actually 2 damage and draining and gains me 2, so that's actually the clear thing to do. Another land, Doctor Doom, one of the best cards in the set, definitely. Make 2 3/3s. It's a lot of 3/3s. Definitely one of the best cards in the entire format. Probably I'm going to Frozen and Ice that guy because I don't really want them Phyrexy and Arena-ing every turn. Sounds dangerous to my health. So let's get this guy to lose all of its abilities. In with the Doombot. Drain you for 2. Deal 2. I'm really just wanting another land, but playing a 1/1 unblockable is not bad at all. Maybe I actually do cycle AIM Scientist for an island. I don't think I'm that desperate, though. AIM Scientist is actually really good because it can block the 3/3s if I level it up to a 4/4, which I would need to draw a non-land in order to do. But actually, Bold Biochemist also is going to be 2/4, so I can line up blocks on the 3/3s like that. All right, we got there. Yeah, double Hydra Infiltration is pretty brutal, even if the opponent has what I have to assume is one of the best bombs in the format, Dr. Doom. All right, so we are 6-1. I mean, Dimir Control looking awesome. I already got my gems back, and in fact, the game that I dropped because of my own boneheadedness. So let's see if we can wrap it up with a trophy. Just have to win 1 game before 2 losses. By the way, my first draft, I got 5 wins, 3 losses. First sealed event, Second sealed, I got 6 wins, 3 losses. So this is the learning journey. Now we have the opportunity to demonstrate progress, winning 1 more game every event by getting 7 wins, 1 loss. On to the next one. All right, I like the hand. This is like the first deck I've had in this format with a good curve. I'm not even sure it's a good curve, but a passable one. Or at least that's playing like it has a good curve. Crowd of true believers. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a true believer in the crowd of true believers. I think you just do not get nearly enough to make this card worth activating. Maybe if it had 2 power, it would be a lot better. But I'm not even sure that that matters. All right, looks like we're facing a classic beatdown. I think let's just drop the AIM Synthoids. We cannot get in a cheeky Doombot attack because the Gorilla does have reach. Oh, this is tough. Okay, I definitely want to draw Black Widow. Like, Atlantis Attacks is so good, I still want to draw it, but it's not going to be good for so many turns. I'm probably supposed to put it back because I'm facing what looks like a very active attack, so I think I put it in the graveyard. It's a little painful to bin such a good card, but I think that's just the responsible thing to do. And I'm a responsible adult human being, so sometimes. All right, Training Compound, and this is a rare, so it comes in untapped. The rare land, not a gain land. Could I possibly have any reason ever in my life to block that? I'm gonna go with no. I'm going to go with no. Oh, Hydra Assault Robot. Yeah, I don't... If you're building such an aggressive deck, you probably don't want it to be 3 colors, right? So I think let's go with Black Widow plus Stature. That sounds like the right move. All right, I'll go in for 1. Usually aggro decks want to be streamlined 2-color decks. All right, and then play Black Widow and then play Stature. Not trying to, you know, be like harsh or disrespectful to my opponent in any way. It is a learning channel, so I think, you know, saying the thing out loud can be helpful for everyone. And I'm also obviously not always right. There can be reasons that you would choose to do something a little bit unusual. But just because this is a learning channel, I think it's worth saying. Usually, if you're playing all 1 and 2 drops, you would want to keep it in 2 colors. All right, play a land, hold up Widow's Bite. Now I'm kind of wishing that I had the Atlantis attacks, because it looks like this game might go a little bit long. I'm gonna not activate Stature. I kind of feel like holding up Widow's Bite is just good. I don't really have any... I guess I can play Wiccan, use Widow's Bite, and flicker AIM Synthoids. That could be good. Another interesting thing is I could reset Stature by flickering it, like undo the power up, you know, make it big, then later on flicker it, and then make it even bigger after that. I haven't played with power up yet, but I'm assuming that that works. I mean, I've played with power up, but, you know, only for like a day or something. So what does this do again? As long as an opponent casts a spell this turn, you may cast spells as though they had flash. Okay, so you get to play on my turn, basically. So I guess let's start with going in with Stature. I think my real plan for dealing with that is just Widow's Bite, Death Touching the Aerial Doombot, but actually it could just level up the Aerial Doombot and then it can trade with Marvel. Also, Wiccan can trade with Marvel, and it's not like Wiccan is like the most important card in my deck or something. It's kind of a good one, but yeah, I'm definitely not going to block that. Definitely not when I have tricks in my hand. I really don't want to get into combat with that. So I can take the 5 here. I think that's not something that I want to do again. Oh, that's kind of nasty. Okay, Depower. That's a really good one for me. So in with Stature. And then Depower plus Widow's Bite, I think should make for a nasty surprise. But let's see. Okay. So I think I'm going to want to blink Thor Odinson. So let's start by -4ing the Captain Marvel. Actually, do I -4 Thor Odinson and then block it with Wiccan and give that Death Touch? That actually might be better because I'm more concerned about Thor Odinson than I am about Captain Marvel, right? And I highly doubt that they have... well, actually it's double prowess. So if they have 2 non-creature, that could turn it into a 4 power creature after shrinking. So, okay, let's go for the Captain Marvel. I'm going to blink Thor Odinson here. So just get rid of that attacker. Wow, Wiccan is like kind of good, isn't it? I don't think Captain Marvel is good, but I think Wiccan is a really good version of this card. And then I'll just go ahead and block with Wiccan, and we'll see if they have some trick up their sleeve. And if they do, I have Widow's Bite for extra security. It would be nice to use Widow's Bite on the offense to be able to sneak in a Black Widow. Okay, let's see what this is. I wonder if they have like a bite spell or something. Kind of looks like it. They can also give it +1/+0. So if I blocked with Aerial Doombot and gave the Doombot Death Touch, they could give it +1 after that and still kill the Doombot. So all told, let's block with Wiccan. This gives +1/+0, so it wouldn't save Captain Marvel. Or Marvel. I don't really know how I'm supposed to say that. Okay, all right, we can do that. That's fine. Is it going to die? All right, don't hate that at all. Scarlet Witch. Instant and sorcery spells you cast with mana value 4 or greater cost X less to cast, where X is its power. But it's an understated 3-drop. Probably not the strongest. Okay, and then I am going to... This is the next end step. So if I do this on your end step, let's find out. So I'll draw 2, lose 2. And then I could flicker AIM Synthoids. But maybe we just flicker Thor. It's cool that this is an instant, actually. Do I want to flicker Thor here? Or do I want to Surveil? Surveiling sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But flickering Thor for another turn also sounds good. It'll come back on my end step, though. I don't think I'm trying to get through flying damage. So let's flicker the Synthoids. I don't know if that's exactly the right thing to do. Especially because it means I don't get the Surveil until the end of my turn, but seems like an interesting move. So destroy a creature an opponent controls with power 3 or less sounds good. So let's go. Okay, so I can also go Baron Strucker into Electra for 3. No, I don't have enough black sources to do that. Darn, actually, missing black mana is kind of bad. I don't really want to play Electra then. I guess I get to connive, so maybe I find a swamp. I really want to play Widow's Bite, so let's start with Red Room Recruit. I guess we're not Electra-ing this turn. That's okay. I really want to be able to play a non-creature spell. Oof, not the best draw. Okay, fine. I don't really know what my plan is to win this game. I know what my plan is to dirtle forever, though. Then I will play the land, and let's go to the end, and then my Synthoids come back, and I get to Surveil. There are my swamps. Do I want more swamps? Yeah, probably. I think a swamp. 1 swamp exactly sounds like the right idea here. Yeah, this is a little tough. Feel like I'm getting a bit of a beat down here. I guess Scarlet Witch could be good with the thing that deals 1,000,000 damage to everything, right? The thing that deals X damage, 1 damage copied X times. Okay, so should I do a Widow's Bite? Widow's Bite could kill the Gorilla and flicker Thor Odinson. Or I could just give Death Touch to the Doombot, and it's a little bit fragile if they have a combat trick, which I kind of suspect that they do. I think I want to flicker Thor. So let's go Widow's Bite. Oh, I could also actually, I could copy it. I could copy it. That's kind of cool. Is that appealing to me? The thing is, if I get Aerial Doombot into combat with Thor, I'm feeling kind of like I'm very likely to get... It's very likely to not actually die. Okay, let's line up a block here. So I'll put my blocker there. I think let's just try it. Let's try both. So I'm gonna give this thing Death Touch. I'm going to give this -2/-2. I'm gonna tap Widow and Red Room Recruit. And then I guess, I don't know, I'm a little worried about a trample trick, but I guess I'll flicker AIM Synthoids. I am a little worried about like trample double strike kind of tricks, but I don't think I'm supposed to play super scared here. Let's just try to kill this Thor. Go to damage. Okay, all right. Okay, we got rid of it. Okay, that feels good. That feels really good. Yeah, they would have needed a combination of cards. I doubt there's something that gives like a big pump and also Death Touch. I think these are just good draws. A big boost and also Death Touch, or sorry, and also Trample sounds pretty implausible. So I'll play this. I can play Baron Strucker first. Then I can sneak in Stature. So let's go ahead and play this. Then I'll go next in with Stature. Unfortunately, I cannot also attack with Black Widow or land a Black Widow hit. But that's okay. So go to blockers. Let's sneak this guy in for just 2 mana. Bouncing our Stature. When it lands, I guess I will kill. That's fine. I guess I'm going to kill, cast a non-creature spell, tap a creature, or making all your spells cheaper. I'm just going to guess that this is more dangerous to my health and kill that one. Then Baron Strucker. Yes, let's connive. Honestly, I feel like I feel like I'd rather have extra cards over playing Stature here. And then let's play this to get the extra cards down. I don't think I'm supposed to play around board wipe or anything against their super aggressive deck. Thor was a really scary one. All right, hopefully... Oh, another Thor. Do you have haste? Okay. Exile an equipment, instant or sorcery from your graveyard, which they didn't have. Deals damage equal to its mana value to any target. Gotcha. Darn, maybe Stature was important for me, huh? Okay, so Wiccan is really nice with Electra, by the way. That's a way better enters ability than I have had so far. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to start chumping Thor, which feels really bad. Dang, am I like actually in trouble? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm actually in trouble, huh? Kind of need some non-creature spells. Okay, there we go. Frozen and Ice. That's a good non-creature spell. I'm going to take some damage here, unfortunately, because I don't have enough mana to shut down, to also cast something on Thor. I might take 6 damage, because I'm not going to chump with Wiccan. When another creature enters, if it has power or toughness greater... Oh, they're not attacking me. That's nice for me. So let's flicker Electra. Lock down this Thor. Probably I also play the Hydra Infiltration, even though it doesn't get any cards, because I would like to gain some of this HP back. Yeah, we got there. We get to start attacking with Wiccan. Dimir Control seemed awesome. I feel like having actual functional blue made my pool so much better. And yeah, we got a not quite clean, but pretty clean 7 wins, 1 loss. I'm loving black in this format. That's one big takeaway of the last few events for me. I don't know if the data are going to bear that out, but black is just looking really good. The only game that we lost was because I was a bit of a bonehead. Yeah, Hydra Infiltration was sweet. I think playing 2 of them and not 3 was correct. Blue had absolutely no bombs in my colors. I mean, I guess Wiccan was good, and Atlantis Attack, sorry, is kind of a bomb. But everything else was kind of weak. Although, yeah, Stature did some good work, especially with the sneak as an enabler for sneaking. Deep Power was sweet. Frozen and Ice was nice. Basically, removal is so good in Sealed. And Wiccan is kind of removal. All right, so tomorrow's going to be my last Sealed practice run. And then on Monday, we're going to talk about what the data are saying so far and what I've learned from this series of Sealed. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be already into high-stakes Sealed with the first Arena Direct. So until tomorrow, have tons of fun playing Magic, and don't be afraid to splash.